It used to be that Mission Sunday was celebrated with great pageantry, students dressed up as missionaries and saints. These days, the celebration is a little bit more subdued. We're here today at St. James Cathedral Basilica, where the propagation of the faith will honor schools and students for the contributions that they have made to missionaries around the world.
We are all missionaries. We have to understand that. And sometimes we forget, so it's good to take a moment, stop and say, hey, we've been baptized, we've been given a mission, and we should never forget that.
In Brooklyn, the religious education program with the highest amount donated to the missions is St. Anselm Church. It's been a tradition in the diocese long before I worked in the office to recognize those schools that are generous toward the missions.
It's really an exciting time because the work that our kids have done to help St. Francis Secondary School in Lara is absolutely amazing. It began with bicycles, then it was computers and textbooks, and this year we got them desks and chairs for their new school building.
One year we did a cross with the doves, and we sold those with a little prayer on the back that they would say, and then they would get them blessed by the priest at our church.
During Catholic Schools Week, we have the cutest pet contest. We bring in money, and some of that goes to the missions, and there's a competition, which class could bring in the most money.
As the Sunday school teachers, we teach them what it is to give back and that is part of our faith. And then from there, we give them the different crafts to, with their own hands, develop and then sell for the missions.
I did the freshman trip to Maryland, and 40 kids, I was one of them, picked around 33,000 ears of corn for missionary groups in the Maryland area.
Our children at St. Bernadette School are so generous to the missions. They understand what the missions is all about, helping our brothers and sisters who are much less fortunate than we.
It was so wonderful when we used to say the Mass in Latin, that after Mass the priest would say, ite, go, missa es, the mission is on the way from the altar to touch people's heart.
It is part of our faith that we do give back, and we should understand that because we are receiving, and it is very important to give back as well.
It's so wonderful that from a starting age they recognize that we are all brothers and sisters, and the faith is one to be shared with one another.
That's why the participation is so great, because they realize that they're part of a bigger church.
I hope they continue in their future lives, in their adult lives, to become aware. Perhaps some of them will become missionaries, but to make them bring that into the future with them.
In his remarks to the students today, Bishop Cisneros asked them to continue to be aware of the work of the church around the world and also to continue to raise the necessary funds for the missionaries. At St. James Cathedral, for Currents, I'm Ed Wilkinson.